Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I know a lot of you are getting your summer plans put together, and I hope that includes a trip to the Farm Progress Show, August 26th, 27th, and 28th. Now, this year, we're headed back to Illinois. It'll be in Decatur, Illinois, which means the week prior to Farm Progress Show, there's another event happening right outside in Rantoul, Illinois. Joining us now to talk about the Half Century of Progress Show is legendary farm broadcaster Max Armstrong. And Max, you're outstanding in your field again, it looks like.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we're out here on a beautiful sunny day and very much anticipating all of the farm shows ahead, including those antique farm equipment shows, which get underway rather soon here.
They are. The temperatures are warming up. And of course, Max, you have been involved in the Half Century of Progress Show for years. Can you fill in our viewers as to what it is? What makes the Half Century so special?
I think one thing about it, Mike, is there's so much to see working in the fields. It's a demonstration show, just as the Farm Progress Show was from its very beginnings in 1953. And to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that show back in 2003, we started with a show right across the road using old equipment of the field to bring in the corn and soybean crops and to do some tillage out there, the old-fashioned way with the moldboard plows. And we've continued that every other year. And starting in 2005, we did it on the old Air Force Base at Rantoul, Illinois, as you said.
And of course, that's where it will be again this year on that same Air Force Base. Max, for viewers who've never been to the Half Century of Progress Show, what does it look like when you've got that many old tractors lined up on an old air base?
Well, it's an expansive facility for sure. I think we have close to 4,000 pieces of equipment that come in there. Now, I'm not just talking about tractors, but we have old combines and pickers and tillage equipment, discs, but equipment that will come from all over the country. This is a feature year, Mike, for the International 1206, which came out in 1965, and it was made for 3 years by IH. The collectors hope to have 350 of those 1206s. We know some are coming down from Canada, some are coming from as far away as North Carolina, Mike.
That's fantastic, Max. You know, I saw a 1206 this past week pulling a 6-row planter out in a cornfield. So this is equipment that is still in use on farms around the country.
It eclipsed that 100 horsepower level for IH, and it was a very popular tractor, and it still is to this day. Also featured will be Caterpillar. 100 years of Caterpillar. Cat just celebrated 100 years. Actually, on the 15th of April, I think, was the actual date of the start of Cat.
That's fantastic. About over 100 years of Caterpillar to celebrate those 1206s. And Max, when you've got this kind of heritage, this kind of show, and these kind of events to celebrate, what's the attendance look like for the Half Century of Progress Show?
It is always so big, and I'm never really sure what it is. It is, like the Farm Progress Show, so expansive. We have roughly 1,000 acres to utilize during this show. That municipal airport at Rantoul is shut down, so we get to use the runways, the taxiways, the aprons there, the concrete around there. Plus, we have the fields for the field demonstrations in those days, August 21st through the 24th. So it's a great opportunity to really see the equipment working out there.
It is, and of course, it's a great way to get a sense of the visual action happening on the farm. And Max, one of the cool things I like, one of the standout pictures from the Half Century each time it happens is the largest American flag. Can you talk about the work that goes into getting that giant American flag up over the runway?
It's a bunch of Legionnaires from near Charlotte, North Carolina. Gastonia, North Carolina, I believe is the name of the town. And they bring that flag every year. 2 large cranes are put up so that flag can be seen flying in almost every picture taken at the show. And it's seen from all of the interstates nearby. You can see it from I-57 or I-74 a few miles before you get to the show. So it's been great to have that as a part of the show too, Mike.
That is neat, and it's one of those things that it highlights how essential to America agriculture has been throughout its history and continues to be, Max, as we look out to the future. And one of the things that I love about the Half Century Show, the way you utilize those runways. Can you talk a little bit about the equipment parades?
Yeah, we have a daily parade each day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll open the show on Thursday, the 21st, with a tractor ride. I'll be leading a ride out across the countryside. I'm not sure I'll be using if I'll have the 51 International ready to go or not, but we're working on it, and I think it may be at the show, even if it doesn't lead the ride that first day. But we have that daily parade, and that's a special event. Golf carts and utility vehicles line that big north-south runway.
I'm glad you mentioned the golf carts, Max. What should folks think about if they need to be concerned about how they can get around on a big ground like Rantoul?
Yeah, we do run shuttles out there, but to have the flexibility of bringing a golf cart or a utility vehicle or renting one to the show, that really does make a difference on your ability to get around.
It does indeed. Max, now your truck there in the background, does that have air conditioning aftermarket, or are you just going to be a windows down driving fast?
It's going to be windows down, and one of them may be down all the time unless I get it fixed. Working on some of this 75-year-old equipment is a little bit out of my out of my routine. I'm trying.
And I'm guessing when the Half Century of Progress show comes around August 21st to the 24th, Max, you'll have the chance to get a lot of other great minds who have experimented with repairing older equipment.
That's the neat thing about it. There are guys and girls who will work months in advance to make sure they have something ready, Mike, to bring to Rantoul. It becomes kind of a bucket list event for many people. And that's the neat thing about it, I think, for those of us who've been ready since the very beginning.
Max, real quick, before we let you go, tell us where can folks go to get registered for the Half Century of Progress show?
The website, halfcenturyofprogress.com, is a great place to see all of the information. You don't have to register in advance, but there's information there about getting golf carts, and all of the schedule will be there soon, too.
halfcenturyofprogress.com. Max Armstrong, thank you so much for filling us in on what's to come in August.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Folks, leave it here. We'll have more after this.